Hey Geometry Kiddos, today we are looking at 1.7 midpoint and distance in the coordinate plane. Our first few lessons this chapter didn't deal much with numbers. They're mostly some algebra, mostly angles, lines, all that good stuff. This is almost all numerical math. So the math you're used to. Alright, so let's just get right to it. First we're going to talk about midpoint. Now there's two different types of lines we're going to look at. One is just on that number line, where we just have a straight line across, and that's about it. That's like, sorry, that was really noisy. What are you doing? We're gonna look at a number line, and that one's pretty easy. The coordinate of the midpoint on a number line is just the average of the two numbers. A plus B divided by 2. Do you guys remember we had that problem on an earlier homework set where you had to find the midpoint of AR? And it was like 0 to 5. The midpoint is 2.5, because what's halfway between 0 and 5? 2.5. It's halfway between 3 and 10. 3, 10, 7, 6.5. It's halfway between them. Alright, we'll do an example like that. The one that's a little bit more difficult, but not really, because it's actually the same thing, just with more numbers. In the coordinate plane, you guys remember the coordinate plane? It's a plane, x, y axis. Everything's flipped. It's driving me bananas, man. Why is it flipped? It should be normal. I can't do this. Anyway. So in the coordinate plane, it's actually the same formula. But instead of the average on a number line, you're finding the average of your x's, comma, average of your y's. x1 plus x2 divided by 2, y1 plus y2 divided by 2. And that gives you the midpoint on the coordinate plane. Sorry. You guys are probably like, see, here's point. Here's your other point. Notice how they color code it for you? x1 plus x2 over 2, comma, y1 plus y2 over 2. That's your midpoint. Alright? Alright. You guys just want to see some examples? I know how much you love examples. Alright. JK, just kidding, has endpoints. Negative 12 and 4. What's the midpoint? So, we have some J, K, that's 4, this is negative 12. So we want to find the midpoint of this. Well, we just find the average. To find the average of two numbers, you add them up, and you divide by 2. 4 plus negative 12 is negative 8 over 2, so you get negative 4. So that midpoint is at negative 4. Alright, that's not too bad. That's not no bad. This one's a little bit trickier. Now we're on the coordinate plane, right? I'm just going to do a quick sketch. You don't have to. So we got 5, negative 10. So we have some R. And we have some S, which is 3, 6. That'd be about right here. Right, we have a line. Curves a little bit, it's not supposed to. We want to find the midpoint. Alright. I'm supposed to write those in different colors. I'll just highlight them in different colors. Do everything with this one blue and everything with this one orange. Alright? So to find my midpoint, it's going to be the average of my x's. So I do 5 plus 3 over 2, comma, average of my y's. Negative 10 plus 6 over 2. Again, I'm going to use my highlighter. So oranges, I use my 5 and negative 10 from my orange point. And I used my 3, 6 from my blue point. It's the sad one, because it's blue. That's a happy blue, though. It's a happy S. I digress. 5 plus 3 is 8 over 2. Negative 10 plus 6. Remember, you just subtract them. 10 minus 6 is 4, but 10's bigger negative, so it's negative 4 over 2. So that's actually 4 comma negative 2 is your point. Let's see. So go 4 down 8. So about right here. It's our midpoint. All right, get average of your x's, average of your y's. This is such a pretty slide. This is blowing my mind. All right, let's keep going, huh? Now for the not so fun stuff. Oh nope, this one's a hard one. I'm gonna actually zoom in. AB has coordinates 4, negative 9, and the endpoint A has those coordinates. So they give us the midpoint and one endpoint, and we have to find the other endpoint. All right. So I'm gonna write this down right now. So because I'm gonna zoom in. Tools. Zoom. Yeah. So I have the point 4. Negative 9. Negative 3. Negative 5. Right? Which one's my endpoint? That's the midpoint. That's not going to fit. So this is our midpoint. This was A. And we got to find B. I'm going to cheat here. Alright. Now, there's 2 ways to do this. You could set the formula. You know, you have your 4. That's your x coordinate, your midpoint. So that's equal to the average. So 4 equals negative 3 plus x over 2. And the other one would be negative 9 equals negative 5 plus y over 2. I'm just using my formulas, right? I'm using 4, 9 because that's the midpoint, and I'm plugging in negative 3, 5 because that's A, and x, y will be my B. That's one way to do it. That's not how I would do it in real life, though. Here's what I would do. That's a midpoint, it's halfway in between, right? So from A to here, I go down how many and over how many? Well, I go down 1, 2, 3, 4. And I go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to get to the midpoint. If that's my midpoint, I can do the same thing to get to the other side, right? So I go down 1, 2, 3, 4, and over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I just look at my graph. That's the point 11, because I went over 11. I went down negative 10, 11, 12, 13. That's B. All right. If you do the algebraic way, you get the same answer. Whoa, that was way too far. You know, because you'd get multiply both sides by 2 and you get 8 equals negative 3 plus x. Add 3 to both sides, you get 11 equals x, which we did. And then this one you'd multiply both sides by 2, get negative 18 equals negative 5 plus y. Add 5 to both sides and you get negative 13 equals y. Same, you get the same answer. Either way you want to do it's fine. I'm not going to make you do one way or the other. All right? All right. All right, last slide. Let's do this. Let's do this thing. I don't know why I was just hitting. It's the Michigan game. So I gotta go watch the Michigan game. All right. The distance formula. Earlier when we found distance on a number line, we just subtracted. That's because it was a straight line. Now, in the coordinate plane, it's not a straight line, so you can't do that. What you need to do is use this formula. So you want to copy that down. While you're copying that down, think about this. Why was the jelly always so stressed out? Because it's spread too thin. Anyway, this distance formula is actually just the Pythagorean theorem. In fact, I usually don't even use the distance formula for me because I just do this Pythagorean theorem every time. I'll show you how when we do it. The most important thing to keep in mind when doing this formula is that do you see how like you choose your x2 and y2? Now this order doesn't matter at first, but it does. Whatever you point you choose to go first for the first x, you need to choose to go first for y. If you don't get the right answer. Alright? You've probably seen this before in algebra. I hope you've seen it before in algebra. If not, I'll have to talk with your algebra teacher. I already took algebra. Right? Alright. I'm going to show you guys 2 ways to do one of these. Why did I give myself a coordinate plane? That was silly. Pause. I was really struggling to get a graph in here. I'll show you guys next time in class. I'll do an example where we do that one a little bit differently. Where's my pen acting so funny? There it is. Alright. So we're given endpoints and we want to find the length of it to the nearest 10th. Right? So I'm going to make this x1, y1, and x2, y2. So I'm going to use my formula, right? Square root of something minus something squared plus something minus something squared, right? So my graph point. So I chose these as x2. So I'm going to put my x here and my y here. Put 3 here and -1 here. And if those both have to go first, right? So my s I'm going to put here and here, right? Put -2 and 14. Alright. What's 3? Don't try to plug this all in your calculator at once, guys. It will not go well for you. Garbage in, garbage out on those calculators. 3 minus -2 is 5 squared. Plus -1 minus 14 is -15 squared. Oh no, I need a calculator quick. There's none in here. Sorry guys, I forgot to hit record. But anyways, 5 squared is 25, 15 squared is 225. Remember, whenever you square something that's positive, if you plug -15 squared into a graphing calculator, it will give you -225. You have to put that in parentheses, or I'm sorry, you have to put the -15 in parentheses. Alright? So that's square root of 250, which is about 15.8. Alright? Alright, that's it. Have a good day.